As a doctor, there are 5 vaccines that I would never, and I mean never, get myself. And the most curious thing is that if you're over 60, there's a very good chance you're asking for one of them at the pharmacy every single year, thinking you're doing the right thing. But the reason I avoid them is not what you think. It has nothing to do with conspiracy theories or distrust in science. Quite the opposite. My decision is based on the most cutting-edge science available today, and knowing it could literally save your life. In the next few minutes, I'm not only going to tell you which 5 vaccines a truly up-to-date physician should no longer even consider, I'm going to explain the serious mistake that thousands of adults make by continuing to ask for them. And most importantly, I'm going to give you the alternative, the modern, safer version that I actually recommend to my own family and my own patients. This is not a video meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you, so that the next time you talk to your doctor, you don't just ask for the pneumonia shot or the tetanus booster. It's so you know exactly which name and which technology to ask for, so your body receives the best protection that exists today. Because in 21st century medicine, it's not about whether to vaccinate or not. It's about doing it intelligently. Stay with me. So what's the big secret? Why would a doctor turn down vaccines that have been on the market for years? The answer is simple, and once you understand it, you'll be amazed it isn't talked about more. The reason I would never get these 5 vaccines is because for every single one of them, there is already a 2.0 version, a stronger, longer-lasting, and in many cases safer alternative, one specifically designed for the immune system of an older adult. Think of it this way, it's like having a cell phone from 15 years ago. Sure, it could make calls, but would you choose it today over a smartphone with an incredible camera, a battery that lasts all day, and keeps you connected to the world? Of course not. In medicine, the exact same thing happens. Science never stops, and vaccines that were the gold standard a decade ago have now been surpassed by technologies that offer vastly superior protection. The problem is that many patients, and even some healthcare systems, out of habit or lack of updated information, are still offering the old version. And the fatal mistake is accepting it without question, assuming that a vaccine is a vaccine. But the difference between the old and the new can be the difference between a peaceful winter and ending up in a hospital bed. So let's break them down one by one. Let's start with the one that fights one of the most dangerous silent killers for older adults, the pneumococcal vaccine. I'm Dr. Leonard Brooks, and I want to be direct with you. The first vaccine I would never get in its outdated form is the pneumococcal vaccine, and this may be the most important one on this entire list. Streptococcus pneumonia, or pneumococcus, is a bacteria that wreaks havoc on older adults. It doesn't just cause pneumonia, which is one of the leading causes of hospitalization and death. It also causes meningitis, a devastating brain infection, and sepsis, an inflammatory response that can be fatal. For years, our main weapon was the PPSV23 vaccine, known as Pneumovax 23. If you've ever gotten a pneumonia shot, chances are that's exactly what you received. The 23 means it protects against 23 different strains of the bacteria. Sounds impressive, right? More must be better. But here's the catch, and it comes down to technology. PPSV23 is a polysaccharide vaccine. Imagine your immune system is an army. This vaccine is like showing your soldiers a simple photograph of the enemy. They recognize it, yes, but only on a very surface level. The response they generate is weak, and worse, it doesn't build strong immune memory. It's as if the soldiers forget the enemy's face shortly after. This is especially serious in older adults. As we age, our immune system ages too, a process called immunosenescence. The army slows down, the soldiers get tired. Showing them a simple photograph, which is essentially what PPSV23 does, is often not enough for them to mount a defense that actually lasts. So even though it was the best we had, its protection was never ideal for the people who needed it most. And here is where modern science steps in. Today, we have a far superior technology, conjugate vaccines. The ones I recommend and that every older adult should ask for by name are the PCV15 Vaxneuvance and even better, the PCV20, known as Prevnar 20. Now wait, 20 is less than 23. How is that better? Here, quality absolutely crushes quantity. These are conjugate vaccines. Let's go back to the army analogy. A conjugate vaccine doesn't just show your immune system a photograph of the enemy. It takes that photograph and attaches it to a protein that your immune system already knows and aggressively targets. It's like putting the enemy's face on the body of a known criminal your soldiers already have on file. That combination triggers a dramatically stronger reaction. It doesn't just activate your frontline soldiers, it calls in the high-ranking officers. This collaboration creates a response that is more powerful, more intelligent, and most importantly, generates long-term immune memory. Your army doesn't just learn to recognize the enemy, it develops a battle plan to destroy it for years to come. For someone with an aging immune system, this changes everything. The PCV20, in a single injection, trains your body far more effectively. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, and other leading health agencies now clearly recommend that adults opt for the PCV20. Your conversation with your doctor needs to start here. Am I a candidate for the conjugate vaccine PCV20? This isn't about preventing a cough. This is about preventing a pneumonia that could leave you bedridden, or a meningitis that could steal your memories. Asking for the right vaccine is a critical decision. The second vaccine I would never get is the old one against herpes zoster, what most people call shingles. Fortunately, it's largely become a relic in many parts of the country, but it's absolutely vital that you understand the difference, because the disease it's meant to prevent is one of the most torturous experiences a human being can go through. Shingles is the reactivation of the chickenpox virus. The virus never truly leaves your body. It goes dormant in your nerve cells. Then, decades later, when your immune system weakens, it can wake up. And when it does, it causes a blistering rash with unbearable pain, described as burning, stabbing, electric. But the rash is just the beginning. The most feared complication is post-herpetic neuralgia, a chronic pain that can last months, years, or even a lifetime. It's a pain that destroys quality of life. The old vaccine, Zostavax, was the only option for about a decade. It's no longer available in the United States as of 2020, and although it may still be found elsewhere, it has been completely left behind. Zostavax was a live attenuated virus vaccine, a weakened version of the virus. The idea was to give the immune system a little nudge to keep the virus under control, and it worked, halfway. It had three major problems. First, its efficacy was mediocre, only about 51%. Second, its effectiveness collapsed with age, dropping to a dismal 18% in adults over 80, exactly when you need it the most. And third, because it contained a live virus, it was risky for people with compromised immune systems. Then, in 2017, a revolution arrived. Shingrix. This is the vaccine I recommend with complete confidence, and the one every adult over 50 should ask for by name. Shingrix is a masterpiece of modern vaccinology. It's a recombinant subunit vaccine with an adjuvant. I know that sounds technical, but the concept is brilliant. Recombinant means that instead of using a weakened virus, scientists produce only a single key protein from the virus. There is no live virus, not weakened, not dead. It is biologically impossible for it to give you shingles. With adjuvant, this is the secret ingredient. That protein is combined with a substance that acts like an alarm siren for your immune system, waking it up and making the response dramatically stronger and longer lasting. The results are spectacular. Shingrix has over 90% efficacy in preventing shingles, even in people in their 70s and 80s. Where Zostavax failed, Shingrix excels. It's also safe for most people with weakened immune systems. Yes, it requires 2 doses and your arm may be sore or you might feel a little off for a day, but that's a sign your immune system is mounting a first-class defense. That's a small price to pay to avoid years of debilitating pain. And if you ever received Zostavax in the past, the recommendation is clear. You should be revaccinated with Shingrix. It's like trading a cloth vest for titanium body armor. Every fall brings the same ritual. The flu shot campaign. And here we encounter the third example, one that's subtle but enormously important. The flu is not a cold. For an older adult, it can be devastating. It leaves the body vulnerable to bacterial pneumonia and dramatically increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. Between 70% and 85% of flu-related deaths occur in people 65 and older. The vaccine I would never get if I were over 65, the standard dose flu shot. When you walk into a pharmacy and ask for a flu shot, the default is almost always the standard dose. It's a good vaccine, perfectly appropriate for a young, healthy person. But for someone over 65, it's a missed opportunity. Why? Again, immunosenescence. The aging immune system simply doesn't respond with the same vigor. The standard dose, which works beautifully in a 30-year-old and a 75-year-old, may produce only mediocre protection. It's like sending a new recruit with basic equipment into a high-risk mission. Better than nothing, but not the right strategy. Fortunately, science developed flu vaccines specifically engineered for older adults, and the CDC preferentially recommends them for this age group. There are essentially two options. The high-dose flu vaccine, Fluzone High Dose. The concept is straightforward. If a standard dose isn't enough, let's use more. This vaccine contains 4 times the antigen, the active ingredient. It's like sending 4 battalions instead of 1, provoking a much stronger response. The adjuvanted flu vaccine, Fluad. This approach is more elegant. Instead of increasing the dose, it adds an adjuvant, that immune system alarm we talked about. It wakes up the immune system to mount a more powerful attack. Think of it as adding a special forces commander to lead the charge. Both options have been shown to be superior to the standard vaccine when it comes to protecting older adults. So next time, ask specifically, do you carry the high-dose or adjuvanted flu vaccine for adults over 65? You are absolutely within your rights to ask for the best protection available. This 4th vaccine has a deeply emotional dimension, and it shows that a vaccination decision doesn't only affect you, it affects the smallest and most vulnerable members of your family. I'm talking about the tetanus booster. We all know you need a booster every 10 years. Tetanus is a horrific disease caused by a bacteria that produces deadly muscle spasms. For decades, the standard booster was the TD vaccine, tetanus and diphtheria. People get it and feel protected, but there is a dangerous omission in that formula. It completely ignores a third enemy that has made a serious comeback, whooping cough, also known as pertussis. The vaccine I actually recommend is the TDAP. That extra A and P stand for acellular pertussis. It protects against tetanus, diphtheria, and critically, whooping cough. Many people believe whooping cough is a childhood disease. That's a serious misconception. Adults get it too, and in adults it can manifest as a violent, uncontrollable cough that lasts for months. A cough so brutal it can fracture ribs. But here is the most important part. Something I've seen play out with heartbreaking consequences. Adults, and especially grandparents, have become the primary source of transmission to newborns. Picture this scenario. A baby is born. A grandparent, who has had a persistent cough for weeks, goes to meet the new baby. They hold him, kiss him, not knowing they are transmitting whooping cough. For the adult, it's an inconvenience. For a newborn who is too young to be vaccinated, whooping cough can be a death sentence. Babies don't have the strength to cough. They stop breathing. They turn blue. They can suffer brain damage. They can die. That's why the modern strategy is called cocooning, vaccinating with Tdap all adults who will be around a newborn, creating a protective cocoon around that baby. So at your next booster, ask for the Tdap by name. Don't just do it for yourself. Do it for your grandchildren, to make sure your hugs carry nothing but love. And now we come to the 5th vaccine, a perfect example of why staying current is everything. I'm talking about the COVID-19 vaccine. We all know the impact of SARS-CoV-2, especially on older adults. The vaccines have been nothing short of miraculous, dramatically reducing the risk of severe illness and death. I believe in them fully, but the mistake I see constantly is not rejecting the vaccine. It's settling for an outdated version. The COVID-19 virus mutates constantly, just like the flu. It changes its disguise to evade our defenses. The early vaccines were designed for the original strain of the virus, but with the emergence of new variants like Omicron and its sublineages, the effectiveness of those original formulas has decreased significantly. Getting a booster today that was designed for a variant from 3 years ago is like using a 1990 roadmap to navigate a modern city. You get a general idea, but you're going to hit a lot of dead ends. The right strategy, the one scientists use, mirrors what we do with the flu. Update the vaccine regularly to match the variants that are actually circulating. Every year, experts analyze the data and recommend a new formulation. For the 2025-2026 season, the formula has been updated once again to target the most current strains. That is always the vaccine I recommend, the latest available update for the current season. Think of it like updating your GPS with the most recent maps. For an older adult whose immune system needs the most precise tools available, this is essential. Don't let pandemic fatigue make this decision for you. COVID-19 remains a real risk. Always ask for the updated vaccine for the current season. So let me be clear. As Dr. Leonard Brooks, a physician who has spent his career treating older adults, I believe deeply in vaccines. They are one of the greatest achievements in the history of medicine. But I believe in intelligent vaccination. Let's review the 5 updates that could save your life. For pneumonia, don't ask for the old PPS V23. Ask for the modern conjugate vaccine, the PCV20. For shingles, leave the obsolete Zostavax behind. The only option today is Shingrix, which gives you over 90% protection. For the flu, if you're over 65, don't settle for standard. Ask for the high-dose or adjuvanted version. For tetanus, at your next booster, ask specifically for the Tdap. Protect yourself and protect the babies in your family from whooping cough. For COVID-19, always ask for the updated formula for the current season, the one targeting the most recent variants. The message here is not fear, it's power. You now have the knowledge to take control of your own health. The most important conversation you can have is with your doctor, and don't walk in saying, "I saw a video online." Walk in with a list. Write these names down: PCV20, Shingrix, high-dose influenza, Tdap, updated COVID vaccine. Look your doctor in the eye and say, "I want to make sure I'm a candidate for these modern vaccines. I want the best protection available." Show them you are an informed patient. And if this information was valuable to you, please share it. Send it to your parents, your grandparents, your friends. You could be giving someone information that protects them from a serious preventable illness. One share can make an enormous difference. Thank you for being here. Remember, aging is inevitable, but getting seriously ill from something that could have been prevented? In many cases, that is a choice. Choose science. Choose intelligent prevention. Choose the best protection that modern medicine has to offer. I'm Dr. Leonard Brooks, and I'll see you in the next one.